You're nothing, but in 13 weeks you'll be a proud member of the United States Army. This is what I was told 3 days after I arrived at Fort Sill, Oklahoma on Thanksgiving Day in 1985. We were put on a cattle car with three drill sergeants standing on the end, the middle, and on the end. And what happened was they don't say a word to you. They don't do nothing but sit there till the doors open, and then you're barraged with 12 other drill sergeants on you, saying words that I can't say right now. This is when I met Drill Sergeant James Everett. This is a man that I'd come to respect until I heard of his death in 1991. When I arrived at Charlie 22, which is Charlie Company, I was assigned to Raiding Raiders platoon. Here's the second platoon, that's why it's Charlie 22. Now this man was 6'5", used to play football for Auburn University, built like a rock, intimidating like you would not believe. And he would come to things, say things to me, and I'd come to know him in a way that he probably one of the most pleasurable men that I ever met. To him, there's three things, three topics I'll talk about right now, which is God, duty, and family. With just Sergeant Everett, everything was about God first, which I came to respect. He was Baptist, I'm being Catholic, which he didn't know at the time. When we were going through basic, through BRM, basic physical training, the PT part of it, BRM, which is basic rifle marksmanship, he explained to me things, not just me, but other men that were in my platoon, and it put me at ease. But it also still kind of scared me because he said it with a tone in his voice, which was to intimidate you, which you come to expect from their position, being a drill sergeant. He made me a squad leader, which he later explained to me was that I could be a leader, but also be an equal to the company, to our platoon platoon guide. I'm sorry about that. He during this process, we were an AIT part of training, which is Advanced Individual Training. I was Field Artillery, and this is when we were finally able to go to church. And I had went to church, and I looked over, and Drill Sergeant Everett was standing right there. And we got to talking after the service, which most drill sergeants don't do. And we talked for an hour. I was late getting back to the company, and he had actually went to talk to Top, who was our first sergeant, who is the NCOIC, which is non-commissioned officer in charge of the company. And I thought I was going to get written up, but I wasn't. He had smoothed it out for me, made everything okay, which made me respect him a lot more. And I found that we had that in common, was the God aspect. Duty was, we were there to be soldiers. We were there to defend our country. Everything falls in that aspect. All these men are my brothers. And what happened was, we were in AIT, as I said, and we're out on a M110 howitzer, which is field artillery, and they fired, and I wasn't ready, and I flipped over a chair behind me, and I cracked my scapula in 4 places. So I was put on a profile, it's called. And now, mind you, I couldn't do push-ups. Drill Sergeant Everett took this note, and he knew something was wrong. He knew that I couldn't graduate my class no more. So he took the time with me. I'd get up at 4:30 every morning, except on Sundays. And he pushed me and pushed me and pushed me. When it comes to, if you don't pass your PT test, you can't leave. You can't leave the company that you're with. And he pushed me. I ended up passing ended up doing 92 push-ups in 2 minutes, 112 sit-ups in 2 minutes. I ran 2 miles in 14 and a half minutes. So I was able to graduate without my class. But the whole time we were going through this, I was called what's called a holdover. And he kept on telling me, putting it in my head that I could be this soldier that I expected to be. Now, I didn't state before, but the reason I went in the military is because I had a daughter when I was very young. And I was told I had to man up, be a man. I'm a father now. And that's what I did. I went to the United States Army. We had talked, and we had talked about me making a career out of the military, which at the time was 20 years. and he was telling me the way what you have to do is get promotion points. He was air assault. He had the badge. He was airborne qualified. And I was looking at this stuff, and I'm asking, well, could I do that? He goes, you can do anything you want to do if you put your mind to it. And that just lifted me up. It made me think that people weren't better than me. They just knew more than me at that time. Um, when it comes to talking to George John Everett, I realized that he was my friend. And I had learned that he had passed away in 1991. And it was sad I couldn't be at his funeral, which I could have been if I would have had the money, but I didn't. As I said, he was God, duty, family. That's the way it was. That's the way it should always be with everybody, is what he told me. And I can say thank you, and that's the end of my speech.